Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today for January 5th, 2021. I had to slow down and say that on purpose to get the year right. I'm the man they call Meathead, and joined this morning by the lovely Linda Kay. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Meathead. It's a lovely, bright Tuesday morning here in
Yes,
the
it
middle.
is. And, not a lot of snow falling through the air. We got snow on the ground. You guys got snow on the ground. Matthew told us once in August it snowed in Denver, or like the first weekend of September it snowed, or something like that. So, snow is everywhere.
It's
Speaking
very
of being
pretty
everywhere.
outside.
Yeah, speaking of being everywhere, I feel like we're going to be everywhere with our news today. Let's first off talk about the sponsors, our friends at collarandelbowbrand.com, keeping you warm, keeping you looking silky smooth on the outside, because sometimes outside appearance is as good as the inside appearance. But on the outside appearance, make sure you're heading over to collarandelbowbrand.com using the promo code PWR360 to save yourself 10%. And manscaped.com is keeping you silky smooth on the inside, well, at least the inside of your clothes, by getting you manscaped, getting your balls smelling good, getting everything nice and tight. Take it all the way down from the Sahara forest down to the Sahara desert with a couple palm trees in the middle. Do what you got to do. Manscaped.com, the promo code PWR saves you 20%. You're already getting free shipping. You're already getting whatever promo deal they got going on, and make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Now, like I said, we've got news.
Speaking of everywhere, sorry, I thought that was going to be a transition to Manscaped. Hair everywhere.
Hair everywhere. That was how I used to rock it in the 70s. Hair. Let's talk about the news. So we got a couple things here. First off, I want to talk about who didn't show on Raw last night. We're going to talk about it, and then we'll come back and we'll work our way up. The guy I was looking forward to all night long, the guy I was looking forward to since Raw Legends was announced, was Carlito. He spits in the face of people who don't want to be cool. And apparently spit in the face of somebody at the airlines because he couldn't get a flight to Raw. Linda, what happened?
That I don't know. Maybe there was an incident with an apple that could not go through TSA.
Contraband. He was carrying a worm across state line.
Yes. I know you were looking very forward to seeing Carlito. You've been saying it every episode since Legends Night was announced, but darn, apparently there were some flight issues or...
Yeah. And one other, formerly from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, was also announced apparently to be on the show, but did not make it due to flight issues as well, was somebody that had all eyes on her, Candice Michelle, who had her retirement match at Blizzard Brawl.
Yes, she did. The great Candice Michelle. Yes, that would have been great to see her too.
All eyes on me.
Yes. Yeah, she's always great. And that's, shit. Sorry, happens. So unfortunately, they couldn't make it onto Legends Night. But
Linda, you have just joined. It's okay. You just joined a long list of people who have actually said that word on Pro Wrestling Report history. Going through those clips last week, and again, folks, thank you for watching. The views just going through the roof right now. Going through those clips, Frank said the S-bomb. I have never actually said it on the air on television, even though it's been alleged for many years. I never said S-H-I-T.
Really?
I always said ship with a letter P. Ship. That was a running joke for a long time. Long time. Damian swore, Davis swore, Franca swore, you just swore. I mean, I've said other things on this program, obviously, but that word has actually never been uttered by myself on television.
Well, perhaps if there's another try on the television...
Well, I was going to say, this is on TV, so I can say whatever the shit I want.
Exactly. I forget, which platform I'm
you forget what medium that we're broadcasting on?
Happens. That's all right.
With a letter P. Yeah, ask Damien about that the next time we run across him. If he's ever said ship with the letter P. So the first legend to show up on Raw last night, let's jump into Raw real quick because our other news is going to be afterwards. The first legend to show up on Raw last night, holla, 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 holla. Teddy Long, playa. He almost set up a match with The Undertaker. Teddy didn't dye his whole beard because there was some white underneath his lip there. But it's okay. He looked good. I thought he looked real good. He's a Hall of Famer. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say he's a Hall of Famer. Set up a tag match as he always does, and they set up the match between Miz and Morrison and the New Day. Your thoughts on Teddy? Teddy, holla, holla, holla.
Well, that was a great intro for Teddy Long, the Teddy Long on Legends Night. Of course, we knew we would get a tag team match out of this, but mentioning, good old Undertaker reference with Teddy was great to hear as well. Great way to kick off the Legends show. I mean, we did get a kind of promo from Hulk Hogan in the beginning, but wasn't really the kickoff. It's got to be Teddy Long. Holla, holla.
Yeah. Hey, so do you know where that came from? Holla, 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 holla. Can I holla at you?
The Kelly, holla, holla?
No.
Just kidding.
Where do you think he's getting that from? I'll give you a hint. It's from a TV show on Comedy Central. Chappelle show, when he would talk to the old player on the show. Hey, let me holla at you. Holla, 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 holla.
Okay.
That's exactly where he got that from.
Oh, became his own trademark as well then. If we talk about Chappelle's show, this could be a whole nother podcast, can go forever and ever, but yeah. Sorry.
I missed it. I can't say I miss Dave as much anymore because he's put some stuff out there now. Mm-hmm. Like Dave Chappelle was on ladies and gentlemen, my first guest with David Letterman over on Netflix, and they filmed the show in Dave's backyard where Dave had been putting on concerts all year. So I'm just happy to see Dave Chappelle again. That's all.
He's doing a residency in Austin, Texas with Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Right now, currently. But
that's fantastic. I miss Dave. I mean, I wish Dave was on TV more regularly.
I wish he had a stint with WWE or maybe with AEW. That would be great.
That'd be nice.
Uh-huh.
Well, they'd have to let him smoke. That's Dave Chappelle's thing. He's got to smoke on TV.
Yeah.
So, who knows? So, the Teddy Long, holla, holla, kicking off Legends Night Raw. We would see legends throughout the night, and let's just talk about them now, the legends that showed up. What was your favorite legend appearance that wasn't technically announced?
Ron Simmons.
Damn!
Yeah, I don't think it was announced, because I know they did reference Ron Simmons earlier in the night, an homage to, to Ron Simmons, but then after, I know we're kind of jumping ahead here, but after the 24/7 championship incident and we saw the feet, I knew we would get some damn. Well, that was a great moment.
It doesn't hurt that the word damn is on his shirt before you get to his face.
Yeah. the fun part is you just don't know when it's going to come out. You'll see the mouth move.
Yeah, he twitches, he fidgets a little. Seems distressed that he's got to say it. Damn!
What was your favorite?
It was announced, but it wasn't heavily promoted. Mine had to be, and again, I was doing my Otis yesterday morning, so I got a new one for you. Ready? I'm the boogeyman, and I'm gonna get you.
That's from that same sequence.
Yeah, I miss the boogeyman. I really do. The boogeyman was not the greatest wrestler. He legit was eating worms, which is gross. Legit had teeth missing. Had a terrible match at WrestleMania 22, my first WrestleMania, against Booker T. Ate a piece of Jillian Hall's face.
Yes.
But it was funny. It was entertaining to me. I think the boogeyman would freak out if he saw the Fiend. Maybe the Fiend would eat worms. I mean, we could have done something there, but no, I was happy to see the boogeyman as well. I didn't get Carlito, but I did get the boogeyman. And I don't think Molly Holly was announced either. Was she?
I don't think so either.
I'm going to call her Miss Madness 2000 from now on.
Yes. I do remember that seeing that recently pop up on Facebook. I was like, oh, yeah.
All right. Another, I almost said another Flair. I killed the segment here. Another legend popped up, and this legend was going to escort his daughter down to the ring. It was the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. But we got a little bit of shenanigans in this match. Peyton Royce and Lacey Evans were taking on Flair and Asuka. Lacey Evans catches the attention of Ric Flair. Ric Flair's a ladies' man. Woo! And Ric Flair trips up Charlotte, and that was not an accident. That was not a mistake. He tripped her up. Your thoughts on where they go with this? Ric Flair costing Charlotte that match.
Well, my first thought was, here we go again. They've gone back and forth on each other, turning on each other, excuse me.
Right.
But I thought Ric Flair's appearance for, at least right now, would have just been last night's Legends Night appearance. I didn't think there'd be a really ongoing stint right now. But I mean, we are approaching the Royal Rumble and on the road to WrestleMania. Rick always adds some flair to the storylines. The recent one this year with Randy Orton, I mean, that was tremendous.
We're coming up on almost a year with that.
Yeah. I don't know what to think of with this because, ever since Charlotte came back and won the tag titles with Asuka, you just always have that feeling in the back of your mind that she's going to turn on Asuka. Mm-hmm. But now we've had her own father turn on her, and I don't know where this would go. I mean, obviously this would mean Ric Flair will be on TV for quite a while now again.
Every night's kind of Legends Night when Ric Flair's around, so let's talk about some more Legends. During TikTok video segments, we saw Mickie James, we saw, hey, how are ya, Tatanka. We also saw Sergeant Slaughter. I don't hate seeing them, but as far as like Sarge is always around. As far as Mickie James, technically she was just a competitive wrestler last year. She was on the competitive roster. And Tatanka is always around for bigger events, so happy to see him.
We got a puke and maggot
reference
there, which we don't normally hear when we see Sergeant
Slaughter. Called Garza a maggot, yeah.
So that was a little plus.
Even though he is currently at that segment the 24/7 champion. Mm-hmm. At least in that segment. We also saw Big Show. We saw Mark Henry. Big Show was kind of funny. I liked Big Show's appearance because he had a nice heated interaction with Randy Orton, which Randy also had one with Mark Henry as well. But right when Randy Orton goes to choke Big Show sits down. Goes, I know what you're trying to do. Trying to get me riled up. You don't think I can't go right now? Yeah, I can go. But I'm not going to let you do that to me. I think Big Show got protected on that one. I thought it was pretty good. Your thoughts?
Yeah. It was great seeing Randy backstage with everyone. I mean, that interaction between him and Big Show, that was great to see. As you said, it's like Randy wanted to get inside their heads, wanted to one-up them, but yet Big Show one-upped him by sitting down and saying, I'm not going to let you get inside my head. You go away. You're not going to do what you did to me earlier this year. Not in those words, but that was great to see just because we know of their history. The way they left that, I thought that was clever. It kind of, he still put Big Show down, but Big Show, I thought, was the bigger man in that scenario. But then
that's a pun intended, of course.
Yes. Then when you see Randy Orton with Mark Henry, I didn't like that one. It made Mark Henry look so
Mark
sad.
Couldn't stand up for himself. Weak. That's a pun intended as well.
That too. Yeah, I didn't like that one. I thought that they could have had Mark Henry get a couple more jabs in on Randy, or just that a way to stand up for himself the way Big Show did. But I didn't like that segment of him talking down on Mark Henry like that and Mark Henry strolling away. Like, I didn't like that one. I after that one, I said out loud, Randy's got to get his ass whooped by the end of this episode.
Right. He was supposed to. I mean, didn't that already happen once this year when they had Christian come out? They had everybody take turns on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
tons of legends there.
Right. And where was Booker T?
Was he not out on the ramp at the end?
He might have been out on a ramp at the end, but it wasn't announced. I mean, he didn't have anything on TV, Mm-hmm. And I saw Jeff Jarrett out there too, but when did he get announced that, hey, Jeff Jarrett's coming out?
Yeah.
Again,
maybe because some of the ones that were signed to appear couldn't make it, so
I guess. Speaking of legends and speaking of champions, Sheamus and WWE champion Drew McIntyre backstage shooting the breeze, and here comes Hulk Hogan to cut his promo with Drew McIntyre. Here comes the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. Now, he goes, "You kind of remind me of myself, brother." Does that mean that Jimmy Hart's kind of like Sheamus? He's the Irish mouth of the South? Sheamus didn't take too well to that, but it was pretty damn funny.
Yeah, no, that was hilarious. Sheamus was back in the attire. I know we talked about this last week, where got the like brawler, Irish pub brawler kind of,
yeah. Irish pub brawler, yeah.
Yeah, appearance. But great to see Hulk Hogan with Jimmy Hart. And, I was wondering if Sheamus was, he didn't didn't find that too funny. I was thinking he would have taken the megaphone or done something on Jimmy Hart. Because, like, we're still not really sure Sheamus's involvement with Drew McIntyre at this point. So I thought maybe there might have been something there, but instead it came off as a comedy portion of the night.
I got a question for you with Hulk Hogan. Now, your guys like Drew McIntyre, your guys like, your top dogs, your Randy Ortons, your Jeff Hardys, MVPs, Bobby Lashley's, they obviously grew up watching Hogan, right? But the younger guys, the ones that are in their 20s, do they know, and do you think they have respect for Hulk Hogan and what he's done?
That's a really good point that I really honestly haven't thought too much about until now, just because we all grew up watching Hulk Hogan as well. I guess that would be comparing, I'm just going to say Bob Orton, for example. I didn't know much about Cowboy Bob Orton growing up because he wasn't on my television much when I was, or even, was I even old enough to really see that? When I was
Bob Orton versus Roddy Piper. Oh, yeah. No, was it Mr. T that boxed Orton? I don't remember. WrestleMania 2. I'd have to go back and check it out.
But yeah,
but Cowboy Bob Orton always had that cast on.
But I was just kind of using him for example. Obviously, a legend, one of the best in wrestling history. But I don't know too much about him other than Randy's his son. But I haven't seen, unless I go back into the archives, I haven't seen. Yeah. I didn't grow up watching him and really attaching myself to him as I would of a Hulk Hogan, a Macho Man, or Ric Flair, just because it wasn't presented to me in that regard. So the age difference between when Hulk Hogan was in his heyday with some of the younger talents, I mean, I feel there would still be some respect there. I mean, if you're in the sport, you got to know the history.
Speaking, there should be some, but do you think that maybe it's just a little weird? Hogan's gotten on in age, and the younger guys, while they might know the name, oh, hey, Hulk Hogan's going to be on the show. Okay. I mean, they're so far removed from what Hogan's done. They didn't know, that Hogan was on the Love Boat or, just some of these old things. Hogan was in Rock and Wrestling.
Yeah. They probably know more about the more recent shenanigans that weren't that were not positive things about Hulk Hogan. So that might, influence their thought. But you got to believe they've, the younger talents, the younger generation, it's got to at least know the contributions of what Hulk Hogan has done for the professional wrestling world. But,
I was going to say there's a good difference in age and, era between, say, Hogan and Austin. And all the guys know who Steve Austin is because he's still working regularly with the company.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Every time I hear Real American, I still pop. So
Rick Derringer.
My moment. Yes.
Love that song. All right. Bobby Lashley and Riddle. This technically is a clean victory for Riddle. Because even though Riddle tapped out with his back turned to the referee and the referee turned the other way, he was able to get the roll-up pinfall on Bobby Lashley. Is this getting us towards Riddle getting that U.S. belt off of Lashley?
I think so. Bobby Lashley's a powerhouse, but
he's a CHO.
Of the Hurt Business. But the way they've been really giving Riddle the TV time, having him work with some of the other stars, them kind of elevating him. I can see that U.S. title getting taken by Riddle, leading it maybe at the Rumble. I mean, I thought there would be something between Riddle and MVP, but it seems that we're kind of getting more of a Lashley Riddle feud now that Jeff Hardy's out of that mix, if you will.
Yeah, I think Jeff Hardy's completely gone from that. So Ricochet with Mark Henry, and Ricochet paying his respects, obviously, on camera with Mark Henry. But Randy Orton trash-talking Mark Henry. Again, it didn't seem right for Mark Henry because he's on a scooter. He can't stand up. Again, pun intended. He can't stand up for himself. it didn't work for me. I thought it was a terrible segment, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, you don't want to see the world's strongest man appear so weak. Gosh, I wish he would have just given some smack talk back to Randy. But I mean, I get it. That's what Randy was doing backstage, which tremendous job. I loved seeing the interaction with some of the wrestlers with him and Big Show. Him and Mark Henry have history. So that was great to see. But I just didn't, again, not liking how weak they made Mark Henry look. And he was already on a scooter. Come on.
Yeah. Mandy Rose was supposed to take on Shayna Baszler. Baszler attacks Mandy Rose. Dana Brooke takes over the match, wins the match with help from Mandy Rose. Where was Nia Jax?
That's what I thought of myself. Maybe the Rona? I don't know.
The Rona. Don't know. They don't mention it on WWE TV. They would mention it on AEW, but they don't mention it here, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. Randy Orton approaches Ric Flair with Molly Holly and IRS Erwin R. Shyster. Excuse me. Again, I'm calling her Miss Madness 2000. So I feel like we had this promo last year where, you know what? I've always wanted to be you. And I think you're just a punk. You're an old man. You're nothing anymore. After we've seen the Ric Flair documentaries about how Ric Flair lost his confidence, I don't like these. I mean, they're great TV, but I just put myself in Ric's shoes going, I am not the man anymore. I am 99 years old. He's right. It's tough to watch, even though they're great TV.
Yeah. You can already see the tears. Ric Flair's known to cry a lot.
Ric Flair's a crier.
But yeah, it is really sad. You have a soft spot.
You do.
Some of these, or like, I have a soft spot for elderly people in general. Right. Seeing him getting talked down, being called an old man, and just eyes watering, and I didn't. Again, it set it up for me to believe that they were going to gang up on Randy at some point on Legends Night, but instead we just, it was just another way to show how much of an a-hole that Randy Orton can be. But I love it. That is him. That is his character. Mm-hmm. But yeah, seeing Rick.
Hey, Randy Orton had a big match last night, against Jeff Hardy. That one went longer than I thought it was going to go. It still ended up with Randy Orton hit the RKO for the 1, 2, 3, but Jeff Hardy lasted a long time in that match.
Yeah, two legends themselves. So that was a great match to see. I didn't think that Jeff Hardy's going to come through with the win, but
yeah,
always great seeing. We talked about who he liked growing up. In my older days growing up, I guess I really enjoyed Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy, two of my all-time favorites. So we haven't had a match between two of them recently that I can recall. So that was one match I was excited to see.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of excited to see, how did Melina look tonight? Last night, I thought she looked great.
Yes, our friend Melina.
She looked amazing.
Love it, and having her. Wasn't she with? No. She was with Lucha House Party. That's right.
Yeah, she was with Lucha House Party. I mean, she was the M in M&M. So Morrison, Mercury, and Melina. M and M. No, it was M&M, right?
Yeah, Morrison and Mercury and Melina.
They had a great gimmick. I love that tag team. I thought they were fantastic. I think that tag team really did die at the show that Matthew Thomas was at. Did he ever tell you the story? Did you hear that on PWR?
Oh, today? Yeah. I mean, I've heard you guys discuss it. Yeah.
He was at December, didn't remember?
Mm-hmm.
And poor Joey Mercury got his face tore up by a ladder. Yeah. Tag team match, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin against Lince Dorado, Grand Metalik. This was a weird one because they're still pushing this Cedric Alexander jumping in and doing what he wants to do, and the win for the non-title Lucha House Party. Your thoughts?
Well, we've seen this for the past couple weeks. I had to rewind what Cedric Alexander said at the very end before he walked away, and I still couldn't decipher it. Obviously, it was something that made Shelton Benjamin upset.
Yeah.
MVP not being happy about it, trying to remind young Cedric that they are a team. This isn't all about him, but obviously that's what Cedric is feeling. He walks away from them. How rude.
Yeah, he should be embarrassed is what he ended up saying, as far as I could tell. MVP yelling. He should be embarrassed because he is. MVP tells him to figure out what's wrong with them and fix it. That's pretty much it. Tori Wilson hanging out with Nikki Cross. Angel Garza comes to talk. Then he goes, oh, yeah, over there. Cardi B, Kylie Jenner, and Ariana Grande are here watching Raw tonight. Why don't you go and check on them? I'm the boogeyman. I'll come and get you. Yeah. Your winner and new 24/7 champ for the 49th time, R-Truth. And then there's Ron Simmons. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
The main event title match. Keith Lee gets a WWE title match against Drew McIntyre. I thought there was no way Keith Lee was going to win this. Doesn't mean he didn't give us a great match. Drew McIntyre wins, but at the end of the match, Drew McIntyre is about to go on the microphone. The legends on the stage give Drew the standing ovation. They get interrupted by music, and it's very familiar music from the WCW. It's Goldberg. Goldberg comes out, and he says very basically, look, I know you may not have said it, but it's in your head. You don't think these legends are as good as you are in your prime when they were in their prime? I bet you think you could beat them all. I'm not here demanding anything, but I am here challenging you for the WWE title at WrestleMania. Or, excuse me, a Royal Rumble. Linda, your thoughts first on Goldberg showing up, the unannounced legend. Secondly, Goldberg just going, yep, title match. I'm back, title match.
How does he keep getting these huge title shots?
Who does he have pictures of? I mean, I need to know. Who does he have naked pictures of? Does he have pictures of Vince and, like, Macho Man from the 80s just doing things that they weren't supposed to do?
Perhaps. I'm thinking, what long-term contract does Goldberg have? Getting these huge shots, reminiscent. Okay, sorry, I just caught myself earlier, too, saying earlier this year. Obviously, it's New Year. I meant last year, roughly a year ago. Him getting the title and having it for WrestleMania. Yeah. I thought to myself, gosh, I hope this isn't a repeat of that where he by chance gets the pin on Drew McIntyre at the Rumble and therefore goes into WrestleMania 30. Are we going to say this is 37 again? 36, 7, 8?
I think it's 37 or 38.
But technically it did happen. My bad. Are we gonna have Goldberg as champion once again?
Please no.
Gosh, I hope
please.
No, was it last week or 2 weeks ago when we were talking about Drew McIntyre kind of having an open challenge, or we were just kind of joshing around about that?
I think we were joshing around about it, but on there.
I said, who's next? And you said, gosh, don't say that.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I wasn't too thrilled about it. I really wasn't expecting that. There were so many other legends up there that I thought maybe they could start something. If they were gonna put a legend against Drew right now. Yeah, it's a little bit too reminiscent of this time last year. I know Drew obviously wasn't the champion, but Drew McIntyre has been such a strong champion all year. I know he lost it to Randy for a little bit, but then got it back. I think the fans, the WWE universe, are very behind Drew McIntyre as their champion. Please don't take it from him and he needs this moment. He's already been screwed by not getting his real WrestleMania
You know what? If you're going to have Goldberg beat Drew McIntyre, have him beat him after WrestleMania on the Raw. So it doesn't cost me.
Or the after. Like when Big Show came out to challenge Drew McIntyre or something like that. Yeah. I mean, Drew McIntyre is already a very huge name. I mean, is he as mainstream as Goldberg? Is that the reason why maybe Goldberg might get that strap again on the road to WrestleMania? I do not know. It was quite a change in pace, change in scenery from that tremendous match we just got between Drew and Keith Lee. Might I add that Spanish Fly? Whew, great stuff to see by such a big man, or by big men. Yeah. Great match, but they did their fist bump, showing their kind of respect, and then the tides turn. We hear Goldberg's music, and I'm like, oh no.
All right, let's move on from that because we try to keep it positive, but. Linda, real quick, I want to talk before we go today. I'm going to talk about what's coming up on Impact tonight. The Good Brothers and Kenny Omega are going to be on Impact tonight. Good Brothers are part of Impact Wrestling. Kenny Omega is the current AEW Heavyweight Champion, and they will be on Impact Wrestling tonight. Here's the other bit of news that I kind of was digging around. And this, I apologize, folks, that have been paying attention to Impact every week. I might be a little late to this. I did not know Jazz was still wrestling, and Jazz is in the Knockouts Tag Team Title Tournament, and she will be wrestling tonight on Impact. Yes, Jazz from the WWE that was with Teddy Long and Rodney Mack. That Jazz.
Yes, Jazz.
And Jazz is bald.
She was tremendous in the WWE.
Brutal. Days. I mean, she was kind of ahead of her time in her wrestling style.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Any match from her you knew was going to be strong, tough, brutal, as you said. That was a surprise to me as well to learn that Jazz is currently wrestling over at Impact. Definitely want to tune in and see what she's up to these days. I mean, I got to believe she's still got that power, that strength. I want to see more that brutality that she had back when.
Yeah, I'm just happy to see that she's out there. She's still married to Rodney Mack. Rodney's out there still working apparently too, but Jazz looking strong and looking tough. So, they've got businesses that they're running together. She's still out there wrestling. Rodney's out there wrestling. So happy to see, man. But that kind of caught me off guard when I was going through the preview for Impact tonight. So lots of good stuff going on there. Linda, anything else before we send everybody off on their way?
Well, I'm now very curious to how Monday Night Raw will proceed with, Goldberg back in the picture.
Yeah.
That's still in my mind. We shall see what that brings us leading up. Otherwise, looking forward to New Year's Evil tomorrow night in NXT.
Okay. And then we got AEW as well, getting that 2-night celebration going.
That's right.
So for Linda Kay, I'm the man they call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.